Hey guys, this is Allie and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to my subscribers' habitats for their pets. So I know this has been going on for a long time and people have been submitting their enclosures, and I'm really thankful for everyone that submitted their enclosures, but unfortunately I can only get to so many in one video. So in this video, I'm just going to be doing a few. I'm sorry if I didn't choose yours. I tried to make the best variety that I could, but I might try to do this again in the future. So if I do, then you may be able to be featured in there. Before I start, I just wanted to give a disclaimer. I don't claim to be an expert in any of these animals, and I don't claim to say that my care is better than these people's. I'm just trying to help, and these people have submitted their enclosures knowing that constructive criticism was going to be given. Okay, so let's start off with the first cage. I just have my laptop here, and I'm going to start. So the first cage is from Guinea Pig Heaven, and they say, "Hi, I have 2 male adult guinea pigs, and their cage is 15.5 square feet. I like to use fleece and newspaper as an absorbent layer. I use a litter box filled with kiln-dried pine shavings and a hay bag for hay. I don't use the food bowl because I scatter feed them, and their water bowl they don't mind sharing. Their toys are DIY and made out of toilet paper tubes. Their hideouts are made out of cardboard boxes. They usually have 2 hide boxes, but in the picture I only had 1 because I needed to go out and get more boxes. I also use a microfiber bath mat at sometimes because they really like the texture. I'm always looking to improve their enclosure and lifestyle, so feel free to give me as much constructive criticism as you want. I really appreciate others' opinions." So first of all, I really like the size of your enclosure. I think that 15.5 square feet is a good amount for 2 male guinea pigs, and it's important that male guinea pigs have more because they do tend to fight a lot. I also like the 2 cardboard box hideouts. I like how for one of them you have like a fleece forest going in. I think that's really cute. I also love the fleece pattern that you have. My main suggestion would be about the litter box. I know you have 1 litter box, but for male guinea pigs, I'd say try to go for a bigger litter box if possible, or 2 separate ones because male ones do tend to fight, and also it's better to have a bigger one so then they can have room to like burrow in their hay, dig in their hay, and do natural behaviors as such. Another thing you could do, I think, is add more toys. These don't have to be complicated. They can just be simple, like out of toilet paper tubes, or maybe a tunnel made out of a cardboard box. But either way, these can really help make them more entertained. And other than that, I really don't have much criticism, except you might want another water dish or maybe a water bottle, because I know water dishes get dirty really easily. But yeah, other than that, I really like your enclosure, and thank you so much for submitting it. Next enclosure is from Sigrid. They say, "I have a winter white hamster. She is super cute, and I name her Sky. She has a glass tank, but I switched it out because it was so heavy. She now has a bin cage that is 650 square inches. She uses the KD Clean and Cozy bedding, and it's 10 centimeters deep. She has many wooden toys, and she always runs in her wheel, and she has the Trixie wheel." So first of all, I'm gonna say that I really love the color of your bedding. I think it's really cute and colorful, and it adds a really nice touch. I like your wheel size as well. So the main thing I wanted to say is that you said that your bin is 650 square inches. Most bins, except for like a Christmas tree bin, will probably be no larger than 650 square inches, if not smaller, because most bins, the measurements that they have on them are from the top, and the top of the bin is usually wider and larger than the bottom of the bin because the bin does slope down. So since you only have 10 centimeters of bedding, it would be very close to the bottom, and because of that, I'm probably going to say that your bin is more likely to be around 600 or even 500 something square inches, just because it does slope down. Another suggestion that I have for you is to add more bedding. I know you have 10 centimeters of bedding, but since you said you have a dwarf hamster, the minimum amount for a dwarf hamster, in my opinion, is 20 centimeters, which is also 8 inches. So 20 centimeters to 8 inches of bedding, I think that's a good amount for a dwarf, at least a good starting point, but more if possible is highly recommended. I really like the tunnel that you have in there, and then the grapevine wood that you have in there as well. I noticed you feed from a bowl. If you like to provide more enrichment, you could perhaps scatter feed. And I see that you have 2 sand dishes. Perhaps you can change one of those to a different texture, such as eco earth or coconut husk, just so it adds more enrichment with different textures. Another thing you can do is also scatter feed herbs, and you can put sprays in there and also put some hay in there for foraging and nesting. Other than that, I think your enclosure is off to a good start, and just adding more bedding and making more enrichment for textures and such would make it a really nice enclosure for Sky. Thank you for submitting your enclosure. So this next one is from My Little Pets, and this is for the rabbit named Marshmallow, and they say that he's a male and currently a single rabbit. He's a Netherland dwarf and lionhead mix. He's free range in their room, and he doesn't have a theme. So I like that he's free range in your room. I'd really love for Odyssey to be free range, but unfortunately she can't. But I really love how he's free range. I like how you have like the different rugs in your room for him to give traction as well. And I think your litter box setup is really awesome. I also love that you have a dig box in there. That's awesome as well. And your water bowl setup looks nice too. So the main thing I would suggest is to get a hideout. It does not look like you have a lot of hideouts in there. Like you have a few things that could work as a hideout, but there's no actual hideout. For a hideout, I don't know where you live, but if you're in like the US, then you can check on like 101 Rabbits, and they have like maze havens, mini havens, Toki Hut castles. If you're in the UK, there's a lot of Trixie ones. Either way, you can just look around for a hideout. It could be simple, just like a cardboard box with 2 exits cut out. But I think rabbits really need a hideout because they are prey animals, so they need somewhere safe to go when they're scared. Another suggestion is to get him a friend. Rabbits are very social animals, and they do best when they're in pairs. Because of this, if he's not neutered, then I suggest that you get him neutered if he's around the age to do so, and then get him a friend. A female friend would probably work best, seeing that he is a male, and an older female friend than him would probably have the best chance to bond. So a female friend would probably be a good idea just to provide more enrichment, just so he doesn't stay bored. And your setup that you have for them is definitely big enough for a second rabbit. So I suggest getting another rabbit if you can. And that's my main suggestion. So thank you for submitting your enclosure. I really like it. Now for the next one. So this next one is for a hamster. They say, this is from Boba the Syrian hammy, and they say, my sable-banded long-haired female Syrian boba lives in this 24 by 48, 1,152 square inch melamine acrylic DIY. I use 12 to 13 inches of a mix of Oxbow Pure Comfort, Aspen, hemp, brown paper, crinkles, and KD Clean and Cozy. I have a lot of natural enrichment like herbs, flowers, sprays, grapevine, 11.8-inch wheel, hides, logs, a sandbit, and eco-earth. I have a water bowl and bottle, and I feed Robin's Gourmet Food Syrian with pellets and no millet and reduced greens. So first of all, I really like your enclosure. I think this is a great inspiration for other hamster owners, and it appears you have the Victoria Rachel DIY enclosure, which is really nice, and your hamster is also very cute. I love her coloring. My main suggestion for you would be add deeper bedding. I know you said it's 12 to 13 inches. 12 inches is probably the bare minimum of bedding I'd go for a Syrian hamster. I'd probably aim for at least 15 inches, if not more, and that's because it just provides so much more enrichment for them because they are burrowing animals. Another thing I see is that you have a food bowl, but it also looks like you have food scattered. I'm not sure, but I'd recommend scatter feeding. I like that you have a food bowl and a water bottle and a water bowl. That's really great. I love all the different textures that you have in there. Oh, and another suggestion would be maybe like make it a little more crowded just to provide more enrichment, so you can have like larger pieces of grapevine or like willow, applewood, whatever, and just drape them over the other things just to provide more enrichment. And maybe adding some underground tunnels would also be cool. But other than that, I really love all the things you have in there. I'm really jealous of all the Night Angel things you have on there because they're so expensive here. And also, I really like the boredom breakers and enrichment toys that you have in there. So thank you for submitting your enclosure. This next enclosure is from lightninghamham, and they say, hi Allie, this is my 47-gallon freshwater tank. The stocking is 3 bloodfin tetras and 4 silver tips. You might be alarmed by the stocking, but I'm getting more fish ASAP. All the plants are fake, and the hornwort in the back is real. The tank dimensions are 2 feet by 2 feet by 3 feet. So first, I was going to comment on the stocking, but you said that you'd be getting more fish, so I won't make any comments on that. And I really like how the bottom is nicely planted. Even though it's fake plants, it just looks really cohesive and colorful, which is really nice. Something that I think you could do is maybe add some taller floating plants or just taller plants in general, just so it's crowded throughout the tank as well. But other than that, I really like your enclosure for your fish, and just changing up the stocking and maybe making it a little more crowded towards the top could be nice. So this is the next enclosure, and this is from nabzventures N.A.Y. They have a YouTube channel, and this is for their free roam rabbit named Lee. The flooring is rugs and tile, and they have a 2x3 N.A.Y. sigrid enclosure for him to be in during the night and for other safety purposes. So the first thing that I like about your enclosure is that I really love how you have all these enrichment toys and all these different things for Lee to use, because I think that they really add a lot of fun for him. Like you have cardboard hideouts, DIY toys, tunnels, and everything. I think those are all really nice. I love how you have the different textures for the flooring as well, just to give him a little chance to run around on different things and experiment with different textures and what he likes. Your litter box setup looks great. I'd maybe just make the litter box a little slightly bigger because Lee does look a little small when Lee's in it. And personally, I think that the rabbit should be able to like lie down fully in it. I like how Lee is actually like lying down in one of these pictures. It's really cute. Other than that, I think my main suggestion is that you said that you keep him in the 2x3 enclosure during the nighttime. 2x3, in my opinion, is much too small for a rabbit. The minimum that I'd say for NIC grids, actually, I don't know if these are 14 inches grids or 12-inch grids. Either way, I'd say it's too small because 2x3 would be 6 square feet, and then if it's the 14-inch grids, it'd be 7.5 square feet. But I still think it's quite small. The minimum I try to go for is 3x4. So if you could extend like the nighttime enclosure with the grids out like a little bit bigger, so then he just has a little more space to run around, because rabbits aren't sleeping most of the night and they usually are up early and stay up late. So maybe just making that enclosure bigger. But other than that, I really love how he's free roam during the day. And something that you could do also is to get him a friend. I've already mentioned this in the video, but rabbits are very social animals, so it'd be best if maybe you could get him a friend in the future. But thank you for submitting your enclosure. I really love all the enrichment that you had there, and just with a few little changes, I think it could be really amazing. So this next enclosure is from Hamster Amor, and they say this is a paw hut cage for their female Syrian hamster named Flower. They have a night angel wheel, eco earth, and 6 inches of bedding. So first of all, I really like the size of your enclosure. I think that this, either it's a paw hut or a Leko, sorry, I'm not sure, but I think that this is a good size for a Syrian hamster. More is also preferred, but it seems like Flower is happy in this now, and I know you just upgraded recently. My main suggestion would to be add deeper bedding. You say you only have 6 inches, and it appears there's only 6 inches in part of it. Like I said earlier, the bare minimum amount of bedding that I'd go for a Syrian hamster is 12 inches, and 15 inches or more is highly preferred, just so Flower can run around and burrow more. And I like that you have eco earth in there. One thing that I would add is sand, to add a sand bath to keep like her clean, and also it's another digging enrichment. I like the terracotta pots that you have in there. I like how you're using recycled items. That's really great. And if you're looking for more things to add, I highly recommend the brand Night Angel. You can get things like multi-chamber hideouts, bendy bridges, birch log hideouts and tunnels, ceramic tunnels, and more. And I think those would be really great. Maybe you could add some grapevine wood and herbs and sprays as well. Those would be also great. I really like the size of your wheel. That's a good size for a Syrian hamster. And I think another suggestion that I have, I know you have a wooden cage, and if Flower were to pee in the wood, it'd soak right in, and it would not be easy to clean. And if you were to get another hamster after Flower passes, it would have her scent in it, and this other hamster might get frustrated or confused or scared. So something that you could do is use unboiled raw linseed oil, children's plastic coat, or even Mod Podge, and just like seal the wooden parts of the cage with that, so then it's easier to wipe off like wet parts and things like that. But I also really like the stickers that you have on the outside of the cage. They are really cute, and I think you're off to a great start, and by just changing a few things, your enclosure could be really nice. So this next enclosure is from the YouTube channel Krista Ness, and they say that this is a 1,040 square inch bin cage hamster enclosure with 10 inches of KD natural bedding. Eco earth is in the casserole dish, and children's play sand is around the wheel area. And they also have aspen bedding in a small section and an 8.5 inch wheel. So they didn't specify which species of hamster this was for, but if you're going to if you don't have a hamster in it yet, I recommend probably a hybrid dwarf in this because of things that you have in here would probably be most suitable for a hybrid dwarf, or even a Robovorsky. But if you're going to get a Robovorsky or a hybrid dwarf, you might need a larger wheel. 8.5 inches is probably, like, personally, I think it's too small, but it could work for some. But I'd recommend going for a wheel that's at least 10 inches. And for Robos, you want one that's covered as well because they are very fast. So I really love how you have the large section with the eco earth and the sand. That provides really awesome arrangement, and I like the moss that you have in there as well. The bedding side looks great. I know this is the Christmas tree bin, so if possible, I don't know if it's possible, sorry, but adding more bedding could help, but I don't know if it's possible because I know the Christmas tree bin is quite short. I love the grapevine wood that you have in there. Those seem like really nice pieces. And other than that, I don't really have much criticism other than to get a larger wheel. So thank you for submitting your enclosure. I think it's really awesome and that you've made use of the space very well. This next enclosure is from Kikia, and they say, this large night angel bigger world enclosure is for my 1.5-year-old Syrian male Dipper. He has 2 night angel platforms, 1 night angel 2-chamber hide, a night angel acrylic sand bath, a night angel 11-inch wheel, a couple of bendy bridges, a cork log, a couple of grass tunnels, a piece of grapevine, and a cardboard tunnel. He has a living world, water bottle, and 2 water dishes. So first of all, I really like the size of your enclosure. I think it's a good size for a male Syrian. I also love the size of your wheel. I like your sand bath size as well, and I love all the Night Angel products that you have in there, and the grass tunnels also look very cute. Something that I would suggest is to remove the cardboard barrier that's going there. I see the cardboard barrier goes all the way down, so to the bottom of the cage, I think. But if possible, I'd recommend moving the cardboard barrier to like only the platform height so that he could still burrow from one end of the cage to the other, because burrowing is very important for hamsters, as I'm sure you know. But other than that, I don't really have much criticism. You could add things like hay and herbs and sprays if you'd like, but I really love your enclosure, and I think it's a really great example for other hamster owners. So this is the last enclosure. It is another hamster cage, and I did get a lot of hamster caging submissions, which is why so many of them are hamsters. But this one's from Remy, and they say, "Hi, Allie. This is my 4-foot by 4-foot DIY cage that is a little over 2,000 square inches and houses a male Syrian named Pirate. The bedding is clean and cozy, mixed with hay, and slopes up to about 15 inches. He has a 12-inch silent runner, multi-chamber hide, a sandbag, coconut fiber, aspen section, and other natural items like grapevine, cork, rocks, terracotta pods, etc. He also has a wooden track to run on." So first of all, I think the size of your enclosure is amazing. I love how it's over 2,000 square inches. If I were to get a hamster, I'd love to have a cage this big. And I really like all the natural items that you have in there. You have a lot of wood and Night Angel products and everything, and I think it looks really cohesive with all the different natural items, and it looks super natural. I love that you have like the hay going over and everything. I love your wheel size too. That's a 12-inch wheel, and the different textures in there are also awesome. I like that you have a wooden running track. I've known these are getting really popular in like German hamster owning now, to have like a running track for them, and I think it's cool that you added one. It looks like it's a shell from like a pawhut cage or something, but it's cool that you have one in there. I really don't have much suggestions for you, except that you said that it slopes up to about 15 inches. If possible, I would recommend like 15 inches in like majority of the cage if you can, but I know a 12-inch wheel will take up a lot of space and you need room for it to spin, so maybe just keep 15 inches as much as possible, because I personally think that's a good amount for a Syrian, and anything less, they will not be able to create as many burrows as they would with deeper bedding. Other than that, I really like your enclosure. You can add things like herbs and sprays. I don't know if you have it in there, I can't really see, but yeah, other than that, I really love your enclosure, and I think that's a great inspiration for other hamster owners because of the size and just how it's set up so beautifully. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to your enclosure, but like again I said earlier, I got so many submissions, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get to it, but I'll try to do a part 2 in the future if I can. If I got to your enclosure, by all means, I'm not hating on it. I'm just trying to help suggest things, and I'm not saying that I'm a perfect owner. I'm not saying that I know so much about these, but I'm just trying to help, and I hope that you can take some criticism from these and maybe take some inspiration for your own pet's enclosure from this as well if you were not included. So that will be it for today's video. I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye!